my friends. Thanks for tuning in. I have been working on a new pattern that I converted from a regular knitting pattern to chunky yarn, and it's called Andalusian, and it's named after a place in Spain. And this is the pattern, and so you can see it has some nice texture. It is much like the ribbing or broken rib stitch, only a little bit different. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that in a small swatch. So let's jump right in. Okay, so today I'm using teal yarn, and I am going to do a cast on of 13 since we do odd cast on for this pattern. So go ahead and create your slip knot, 3 finger widths, but not too tight. Okay, let's one more count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for the 50-inch blanket, I did a 35 cast on chain. For 40-inch, I would do 29 because I knit tight. And for a baby size, I would do 25. If you're a looser knitter, do 23. Those are my 3 main sizes. Okay, so we've turned it over, and there's a couple different ways you can pull your stitches through. You can go through the top to pull your stitches through, and some people find that easier, or you can go through the middle of your chain in the back. So that's what I am going to go ahead and do. And it's a little bit tight, but there's a fine line between too tight and too loose. So let's go ahead and pull these through all the way to the beginning of the cast on chain. Okay, let me count my stitches. Oh, I'm 1 short. I'm going to go ahead and push my yarn through the last one that is super tight, but it'll fit a stitch through it. And there we go. Okay, so for some blankets, I skip the first edge stitches. For this one, I am not. So we are going to knit the ends and the beginnings of each edge stitch. So let's do our second row, and that's going to be all knit. All the way across. Knit the last edge stitch, and now we're going to do the third row, and we are going to knit our edge stitch and then do a knit purl knit row. So do the edge knit, your second one purl. And for the purl, it's the opposite of the knit. The yarn goes through the front to the back. Knit goes from back to front. And you follow that pattern for this row, and then you're going to end with a knit stitch. And I'm going to knit a few more rows just to show you how the pattern looks. So this is an all knit row, and this is a 4-row pattern. Okay, so you'll see the knits and the purls. Knit the edge stitch and knit all the way across. I love this color. Now we're going to knit our edge stitch and the beginning of the next row as well. Which is going to be all knit. Knitting to the right. Knit the edge, and now we're gonna knit the edge and do our pattern again. Knit, purl, knit. Knitting to the left. Like I said, this is a great beginner pattern. Now we're going to start our next row and do a knit all the way across to the right. and the last edge stitch. Again, you can see how the purl stitches kind of pop out, which I love. And I'm going to show you, I know I've showed you this before in another video, but I wanted to show you again the two different types of cast off. So I learned chunky knitting in 2018. I'd already known how to knit with needles for many decades. But here's the cast off I first learned in my class, and that's like a single crochet. You take 2 stitches and make it 1, 2 stitches and make it 1, and continue that to make a chain border at the top. Whoops. Now the next way that you can cast off is, let's go ahead and knit this stitch. Now we're going to knit and then put second to the last through the last and pull it towards the left. You're going to knit the next stitch and again put that left stitch through the one on the right and continue doing that. And that is the second way that you can cast off, which it has almost the same look. It's just really your preference, and I have tried it before and it uses about the exact amount of yarn. So whichever is easier for you. Thanks for joining me and happy knitting!